everybody, it's the big stupid head of Eric Hermanson. So begins my favorite ritual, working on my game. That game is called the Godkiller. It's a world beater. I'm telling you, it's a good game. Damn it. And some of you were gonna like it. Not all of you. Not all of you. Some of you. Okay. This demo I'm about to do is going to be especially spoilerific. I'm going to do a speed run through the first 20 levels. I'm just going to go through them as fast as I can. I'm not going to explain them as I go. I'm just going to go. So there's a reason for doing it that way, actually. I just made a large number of updates to assets in a very quick and tedious way. Not quick. The amount of time I spent thinking on each change was small. The number of changes took a long time. So quick changes, not a lot of thought put into it. Good chance I broke at least one thing. So that's why I'm going to speed run through the whole damn game, or at least the first 1/5 of it, because I've only made 20 levels and there's 150 levels planned. 1/7 of it, 1/8 of it. But 20 levels in let's say 20 minutes. Let's see if I can do it. 20 levels in 20 minutes. Is that even possible? We'll see. Let's go to the work screen and let's get rid of anything private. Oh, I already did mostly. Okay. Spoilers, definitely spoilers. Spoilers. Let's go from the very beginning, the boot screen. Oh, that's what I had open to begin with. Okay. Set the sizing appropriately. Maximize on play. Here we go. Start the clock at, I'm gonna wait till it says 4:09 and then I'm gonna hit the play button. Just to see if I can do it in 20 minutes. I have no idea if that's realistic or not. Here we go. Play. Okay. Gotta go from the very beginning. So let's go down. So that's a weird level. The camera is way up above you, but you can still move around. So I was moving a little speck on the ground instead of waiting for the camera to go in. Alright. So that took less than a minute. Still doing okay. Here I actually have to wait for story to complete before I can move on. And in some cases I gotta go to the bonus puzzle and solve that, so I can see if the block pads are good. So come on. This would be less annoying for somebody who hasn't already heard all of the dialogue and doesn't know exactly where to go next, because they get to explore around a little bit. Just want to see. They look all right. They do. They're good. Doing okay. Doing okay. Alright. That's a short level. Okay. Ah, the first mistake. No, it's not a mistake, because those should be small. That's right. Okay, let's check the other ones. They're good. Awesome. First I was thinking they should be the large block pads, but that's not right. Something kind of weird where the volume gets quieter. Huh. Those look pretty good. Cool. But there's two more. I gotta go. Okay, looking good. Oh, don't need that. Oh, I forgot. I gotta go back. I have to find each place where there are block pads and make sure that they're good. Is that the old one? Nah, I think it's fine. Nice. Let's see, is there one over here? Nope. Looks good. And that's fine. So I'm looking at the block pads and I'm making sure that they don't look malformed. I'm making sure they have the right letter on them. Okay. I think I need... Do I need the top one? No, no block pad there. Okay. Just do E, R. I don't think there are any block pads on this level. Yeah, there's not. Oh, W first. Uh-oh. Did I get it? Oh no! Wasting my speed run time. Let's do this again. D. O. Okay, then it's NE along the bottom, but let's do W and T next, since I messed it up last time. Okay, then N. Okay, there we go. Except, why did I have to jump down here? Because now I gotta go back up there. And also, I could have just done one. I'm not a good speed runner. Okay. I'm terrible. Don't have to solve upstairs, I just have to go look at it. Okay, looking good. T, G, N, R. Nice. Dang it. That was not helpful. Hey, Digital Zombies. Do a weird little speedrun thing right now. See if I can get through all the levels in 20 minutes. I'm also checking my block pads that I fixed up to make sure they're actually properly fixed. What's going on with you? That bug. Oh, that bug. Well, you will see the Panem when you joined, at least half of it. Oh, it's cool. It was that mod for that one, that survival out in the winter type game. I forget the name of it. I think that's what you're working on. It's not that important too if I don't do this in 20 minutes. It's just a little challenge. That's it, the long dark. That's cool. Yeah, let's look at it right after this. Make sure I got my, yeah, I got my, do I? No, I don't. This is the wrong thing. This is Twitch. Bam. Okay. There, if you put a URL on the chat, I'll be able to copy and paste it a little bit later. Alright. Alright, I heard it. He's modding it. He's modding the game. He's got like in this game, The Long Dark, he's got a fox with a nice model. It follows the player around. It looks really nice. The animation does on it. I think he's added some AI behavior. Not to speak all the way for DZ, but sometimes I feel like everybody else has to type. I can just talk. Okay, so this one, let's see, what was it? Okay, block pads look right. Doing two things at once. I'm speed running just for the hell of it, and I'm also checking all the block pads I replaced yesterday, just to make sure they're good. That's it. Okay. Thing is, I'm never going to be able to see the O thing underneath, but I probably don't need to. I know it's working because they're all stacking up on it. The ends are good. Alright, that one, I'll call that one tested. Oh, this one always takes me a while. Okay. Last one will be over there. Okay, cool. Hey, voted. What's going on? Dang it. Hey, Mateo. I think 2022 is my best prediction. Wait a minute. Oh, it's just going back to the same one. I gotta go up here. I'm pretty good with my release predictions. We used to time it with the Drod games so that our major releases would always be on April Fools. And people would not know if we were giving them nonsense or an actual game. Yeah, look up DROD. That's the major one. That's the one I'm most proud of. Let's see. Wait, NO is still open because in the corner, got that. Okay. Deadly Rooms of Death. That's the one. Okay. Boom. 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 Okay, that's good. Let me think. Yeah, there's one more up here. So I'm checking these block pads because I just got done replacing them all. I want to make sure there aren't any mistakes. And I just noticed the first mistake. This should be an S. So let's record that. Jesus. S on Death Compass. Okay. Got 2 minutes left. Oh yeah, many. Generally lighting issues. A little bit difficult for me to come to a solution with that. I've spent a lot of time thinking and talking about it. I'm trying not to turn all my lighting discussions into Unity rants. Trying to say, don't rant so much, just figure out what you need to do. Okay. Okay, spelling glory. Need the R next. Yes, I'm testing specifically the replacement of a character of a model I did last night to fix some visual problems. But to do that, I have to get to many different places in the level, so I'm just also doing a speed run at the same time. So that's Y-R-O, need L next. That's your opinion. Which is a valid opinion. Everyone may have their opinion. I love the sound of stairs. Alright. There's also an X up there. Alright, what did I do? Oh, I'm 2 minutes over. So I thought that maybe I could do 20 levels in 20 minutes, but it's 20 levels in 22 minutes. I got 0 kids. That's how I set it up. If that doesn't work, dig deeper. Yeah, I watched Drifter. I watched a video with William Cheer and his 2 engineers that worked on Manifold Garden with him, and I learned a little bit about some of the things they did. Their problem space is different than mine in that the meshes don't use textures. It's all like pure, well, maybe that's not entirely true, but it's you know the style, it's all kind of like flat surfaces. but it's still an interesting talk. The other thing that I've been looking into, and let's see, a few things. A tile map shader would allow me to have simpler meshes. That might do something. That might be orthogonal. The other thing that seemed interesting is this CSG, which is a utility that can take different meshes and put them together, because most of the places where I've got a lighting problem is the boundary of two meshes or two game objects with separate meshes. So I sent an email out to the developer. Not this one. There's another one called Poseidon. This one. I sent an email out to the Poseidon developer and said, hey, how does it work with ProBuilder? And he said he would test it out and tell me what he saw before I buy it. I might just buy it without waiting for him to get back to me and test it myself. I don't mind wasting $50 if it goes off to some indie developer that puts something together. Yeah. So if we go back almost any level, it's a theory, right? Well, they did say something interesting about lighting, the Manifold Garden guys, or point lights. Like, they didn't use them. They came up like with their own lighting system. I didn't quite get all the details of it for determining like the amount of light that would be visible in the shader. They also hacked the shadow mapping to a level of precision that wasn't really important to me, but made some nice shadows. See if I can find one where it's messed up. Yeah. The most notable problems I have is where there's two meshes next to each other. They've actually got the same texture, but the light is not uniform across them. So if I took these two game objects and fused them together, then my theory is the light would hit them more evenly. This isn't the worst example. I mean, this is just a slight difference in the UVs. It's actually lit pretty well there. Yep, this Sunday I'll send out a new build. Let's see if I can find a better example of the lighting. I know where one is. It's the one that I think I was looking at with evasive bits the other day. Kill block. Yeah. So I'm not. It depends how you define overlap. So let me see. Let me get in there in the right spot. Where's... Is that one? Yeah, here's one. So same texture, different geos, and so like one thing I could do, and I never like to do this early on because it makes it harder to manipulate the models. I can take out the hidden surfaces, and that will get it closer to saying, oh, there's no overlap. But it's a little bit tricky when you got stuff like this surface might come out and be visible elsewhere. That's why a CSG solution might be in order. Let me see. Yeah. So if I just deleted that surface, which is over here, then it would leave a big empty missing space here. Going the other direction, I could delete the hidden surface. Where's it at? Yeah, I'm getting lost. Let's see. On this side, it's okay. I could delete this hidden surface. Dang it. Can you see why it's a pain in the ass for me to delete the hidden surfaces? I don't even think that's going to solve it on its own. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I wonder if there's some kind of utility that it doesn't necessarily combine any meshes. All it does is it says this vertex is really close to this other vertex. Let's just snap the vertexes so that they're definitely on the same point. Yeah, I mean, I kind of know like these models are going to be inefficient as far as like the number of faces and vertices and everything that's in them. I don't think it's a real like egregious type of mistake in the models, though. I think it's enough. Yeah, it's just not easy though. DZ, it's just not easy. It would take forever. I would need to have some kind of tool. So what I mean by like it's not like a real egregious error that needs to happen. If I just have like most of these things are just simple cubic or cuboid style meshes with orthogonal points and I mean just they're like square, you know, they're gritty, and usually all I have to do to get a lighting error is have, you know, a couple right next to each other. Okay, so those two are right next to each other. Those two, I guess, are fine. But if I have the same thing someplace else, the lighting will hit them in some weird way and you'll see a seam right in between them. So any place where I've got that seam, I can screw around with it, and it just doesn't seem like there's any kind of obvious error. I think it's more like if they are two separate meshes, that the light will sometimes make a seam. I think it's as simple as that. Now if I wanted to, you know, kind of using the tools I've got, put them together into one, I would delete That's weird. So that looks kind of messed up. Yeah, yeah, it looks like kind of like a Pro Builder mess up there. Because I just deleted a surface and then it didn't actually show it as deleted. Let me see what happens if I move it around. Yeah, it's not registering the deleted mesh. Yeah, it's just a pain getting them together. So there's maybe even a few bugs in ProBuilder because I just deleted a surface and it's not rendering it to show it as such. Let me try it. I was only just trying to show you not this nonsense I'm doing right now, which is another discovered bug of ProBuilder, but the official ProBuilder way of taking two meshes and combining them, which I did study about and learn how to do. Okay. And this guy still looks messed up, so I'll make another one. So there's sometimes when you duplicate one mesh from another, it causes issues. Okay, so now delete that. Put the two meshes together. Select them both. Then choose. There should be one to merge objects. Okay, now they're one object, but they've got extra vertices. So the next thing you're supposed to do is like select the vertices that you want. And you weld them, and what it does is it finds like any vertices that are close to the one you've got selected. It will combine, it'll weld it together. Okay, then you go and you select your next point. And sometimes it's ambiguous, you know, whether or not you got all the points. Okay, so I actually have to select 2 points, then weld them. Okay, I come down here, grab those, weld those. Let's grab that one, or those two, weld those. Okay, then I could maybe experiment further if I wanted, and I could maybe remove these, but I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference to what I'm doing. So it's in the best of cases, it's fairly time consuming. This is like the best of cases where both of these guys join up exactly. Yeah. So if you want to talk a more realistic case that comes up while I'm just like knocking these things out real fast is the one I was showing you earlier, where there actually is a difference in the lighting. So this is actually a fairly complex mesh, not complex by modern standards, but compared to what I just showed, and it adjoins this other mesh here. But that mesh doesn't have a set of vertices on this face that match up exactly with this one. So I'd have to subdivide this face to create an extra set of vertices, get them lined up with the other. Yeah, you can kind of see how it would be a nightmare. Like in that case, it would probably be faster for me to redo that game object from scratch as a single monolithic game object. But then if a ProBuilder game object gets enough faces in it, it'll have a multi-second delay after each change you make to it. Tell me what the tool is. Well, please, if you don't mind, if you remember it or if it's easy. I am interested. Although it's not the colliders that I need to combine, it's the meshes. Although you would hope as maybe you get both of them. Actually, it's the meshes and the mesh colliders I would want to combine. But I assume if I got the mesh worked, I could generate a new mesh collider if I needed. There was one over here that sounded a little bit like what you described. Okay. Yeah, the one I'm feeling the best about, and I think I might, not this. I think I might send the developer one more note to see if he had any update on what he thought it would do with ProBuilder. Is this Poseidon CSG? It might be, but it's complex though. Like it might be more than what I need. That's the other thing with Manifold Garden is they had some kind of CSG tool as well. So they were using ProBuilder, and I think they had a custom written CSG tool. I'm not sure if it was an asset. So I think CSG might be an important part of this. Yeah, well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. Particularly if you're actually overlapping like with the volume of the meshes as opposed to maybe just the edges touch. I mean, I'd almost expect it would have to have overlapping UVs in that case. Okay, let's see this easy combine. Weird. Oh, there's a bunch here I should look at. Yeah, I was searching for CSG before. What? Oh, also, DZ, I was gonna go look at your YouTube demo too. If you feel like dropping a link. Oh, you already got it. You already got it. Cool. Let's go take a look at that. All right, here we go. So the fox is what DZ made. So when you make this mod, is there APIs inside of the long dark engine that you end up calling that are like internal to that engine? Or is it like you're creating a game object in the scene and just sort of manipulating it without integration with the long dark engine? I would think it would have to be the former, but I don't know. I shouldn't assume. It seems to be working really well. That's cool. That's cool. Do you have like some sort of IDE friendly playground that you can try things out in, or does it always just kind of you hack it into the game and see the results in the game? Hey, Jet Boy. This is cool. I got it. I got it. So are you making the Long Dark developers mad about all your modding? Sorry, I keep peppering you with questions. And I know at one point they were really irritated about people modding the game. So I see stuff like this and it makes me think I should just open source my game, but not all the media that goes with it. Oh, that's really cool. Nice. Jet Boy, what game environment or engine did you use? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I saw a demo reel for Game Maker Studio, and like you can make some really good games with it. A friend of mine, he made this game, Sokoban Bunny Tales. And I just asked him, "What'd you make it in?" He says, "Game Maker." You definitely make a lot of games with Game Maker. It seems like a good choice. Yeah. So this is a game that this guy made. Anyways, there's lots of games out there, but yeah, glad to hear you're getting into it. Sounds like good stuff. If you want to demo it later sometime, if you got like a link, I don't know, maybe like a video. I usually don't want to go through the trouble to install an executable, but if you ever feel like demoing it later, that'd be cool. Alright, so let's get back to this stuff. Take a quick look at these other ones. Oh, anything with music, I don't want to play the music. Just because this will go back out on YouTube and I don't want to get flagged in some way. I think I missed something that Drifter said up above. I'm going to scroll back. There are so many things you need to check for and not sure how easy it is to view, mod, UV maps, etc. So all these things were not thought about for automating. If it's a problem, why didn't they account for it? Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the Pro Builder team got starved at some point after it was integrated with Unity. I don't know that. It just feels that way. Because they used to have a lot of support activity on the forums. There's some features like there's an experimental beta feature for CSG in Pro Builder, and it's been that way for years. So there's like this. I guess I won't bother to mess with it, but if you go into the preferences, you can set like show extra options, and there's this CSG type thing, and it doesn't work very well. Every time I combine two objects with it, it creates a mess of my meshes. I'll take a look at this. This looks pretty simple. The other thing that might make this whole practice easier for me is I wanted to use a tile map shader. I had one that was under development. There's a few bugs left in it. I was going to start back to work on it tomorrow. Anyways, what am I going to do with this session? I'm going to grab bag it. I'm going to fix a few bugs here and there. So I've got a backlog of bugs, and I'm just going to fix them. Maybe not all of them, maybe not the hardest ones, but I'll knock some out. So one I saw while I was doing my speed run at the beginning, real simple one. Just have to change. Don't save, leave it alone. I gotta change the block pad to say S instead of A. There, done. Okay, here's another example of that weird seam effect. This is one of the worst ones right here. Yeah. So those are right at the same level, same texture. It's just two different game objects. So I'm trying to rant less, but because I don't really get much out of it, you know, it's just like a form of self-indulgence. But somebody screwed up here, and I feel like it wasn't quite me because I didn't try anything that tricky. So either Pro Builder screwed up or Unity screwed up. Somebody screwed up here. That's not that tricky. Alright, less ranting though. Let's look at the backlog. Let's fix the bugs that I can do something about. Okay, release notes. Okay. Just add to my release notes. There's a Compassorium. New level. Only paths. New level. The Whelm. New level. Might be even a few more. I'll get them later. Fixed gods, pink ants. Let's see. Let's make this in a format where I can copy it up top. Fix. And I'll leave that. Okay. What else do I fix? Fix block pads no longer overlap each other, and in most cases don't overlap other objects. Two sizes of block pads to achieve this. Yeah, Drifter. Yeah. Get some exercise tomorrow, huh? Get that woody smell about you. Get to burn some firewood, get all smoky and woody. I'll see you, man. Okay, this thing I want to fix. Key repeat after fling. Yeah. Alright, so the problem with this one was I grew up in a wood burning household. Got memories. I do like that smell of a wood burning stove. Yeah, you too. The place where I really see this is ice plus blocks. That's a problem. I'll make sure I can reproduce it, and then I'll fix it. Got to reproduce it first, because if you aren't confident about your ability to see the bug, you can't be confident that your fix was successful. So the bug is okay, so you can't see my fingers, but when I hold down on a key, it repeats automatically. And that new behavior means that sometimes when I fling, it'll go one extra step. Now it's not doing it, it's making a liar out of me. Huh. It's making a liar out of me. Gotta keep seeing if I can reproduce it. Now it's working great. I did make a change, maybe I didn't. Maybe my change worked and I just didn't notice it working, and so thought the bug was still there. I might have fixed it already. Let me take a look at the code. So it said key down, set the direction. If it's not a fling, set the next repeat time. Okay, then I say, if you're still pushing that key, and you're not flinging, and the time has gone past the time you set for the next repeat time, then go ahead and, you know, there is one thing about this code I think is a little fragile. Seems like this next repeat time doesn't get disabled. The repeating doesn't get disabled in any way. But still, I'm back to my first problem about reproducing. Let's see what my last check-in was for game input. Let's see, what is it? Input. There we go. I don't know. I don't think I fixed it, but I do think it's kind of a weird timing issue. It might be a little bit hard to reproduce it, like, kind of like a race condition. So I think I will just kind of patch the gap that I see, even though I'm not able to get the timing right to reproduce the bug right now. basically need an extra status variable that says we're not repeating now. So if I say bool is repeating, enable. You know, I can do a little bit better. I can say that one key code can repeat at a time. I don't really want to do something like where the repeat that applied to one key accidentally gets used for another one. I just want one repeat at a time. So I'll say repeating key code equals, and I need some value that indicates that there's no repeating. Let's see. Let me just pick something that I don't actually want to use. If is fling repeating key code equals none. Okay. Here I can simplify this logic a little bit. I'll say that's a simpler check probably than input get key. So that's why I put it at the beginning. I think this is probably a simple check too. Let's put that in front of input get key. And I don't need is fling because I've got logic up here. I think that's a true statement. Yeah, I think it's kind of like if the player's trying to push keys too fast, I would rather just slow them down a little bit because they're kind of out of control. They can, yeah, I'm not going to try to do something complicated here. I'd rather describe the contract of the function up top. Let's do that here. All right. Let's see how this works. I won't be able to tell if it fixed the bug, but I'm pretty sure it's safer code than before. I might have introduced a bug. We'll see. Okay, normal walking, not regressed. Key repeat, still there. So I'm holding down the key, but it's not repeating. Something did happen there. I got it. It's a key mashing thing that I was talking about. So as soon as you change to a different key, it's like, no, the original key that you were repeating on. It doesn't feel good. It does not feel good. It's like you suddenly hit an invisible wall. The command you issued isn't being honored. So I'll have to revise that. So this bit of cleverness I think is maybe too clever. The thing where I say repeating only applies to the initial okay, hold on. Let me try one thing, see how it works. We'll say I gotta think this through. It's starting to get complicated. Okay. The case is user. Yeah, let's write it down. Key down. Up. Sustain or repeat. Key down, right, sustain for repeat. That would work. but then as soon as you do key up, it stops this from working. Okay, options to fix. Blocks, bug. Blocks, repeat of write. Number 1, track per key code repeat state. Number 2, key up does not match key up key code does not match repeating. This is the one I want to try. Does not match repeating key code don't clear the code. That's the one. That's the one that's probably going to work. I think that one will work. I'm noticing that these two are both together, so I might combine those in a second. Same condition in both expressions. Yeah, that seems to fix it. Okay, I think I got it. Let's do a little cleanup. Yoink that out. Otherworldly Scroll. You're a new name. What's going on? I am fixing bugs from my backlog on my game. Well, thank you. It is a labor of love. It's got all kinds of puzzles in it. I love puzzles. I love exploring 3D spaces. All these things are in the game. There's some story stuff coming too. And I've got 20 levels done of 150. Logic only applies to the last key down event. Okay. Okay, we'll say in this case we return false. Is that true? That's an adjective. I did not. Pretty good with words, but heartstrung. Oh, don't lose that tab. That's an important tab. Oh. Cool. That's a real word. A man of vocabulary. Um, 98% self-taught. And I'm on the Mac these days. Other days it's been Windows, but that was years ago. So my current mode is Mac. Are you a game developer? Are you working on a game now? If you don't mind my asking. Some people accuse me of writing too many source code comments, but writing is how I think. Mathematically build a game. Like Conway's Game of Life? What do you mean mathematically build a game? It sounds interesting. Maybe like procedurally generate, or anyways, I might be prying too much, but it sounds intriguing. Very cool. let's give this a shot, make sure I didn't break something. Then if I didn't regress it with my little bit of fiddling there, I will call that bug fixed. Okay, that's a fixed bug. To move it from my backlog to my release notes. Although I should describe it in a way that the playtesters will understand what I've said. Alright, let me take something else from the backlog. This one's hard. That's going to take like a day or something like that. So I won't do that one right now. Windows and Mac to begin with. No, I'll describe a little bit my aims. So I'm prepared to take it kind of lone indie publisher route if that's what I end up with. But before I do that, I'll pitch it to some indie publishers sometime next year. And at that point, I want to have the engine very close to 100% done. Very polished, like nothing that looks like a bug, nothing that looks bad. Content, I want to have the game all the way playable through, but some levels as a demo having full media around them. So I'll take that to the publishers, pitch it, negotiate for kind of a low risk project where they can add some money and it can go mainly into media and content, and maybe build up the team a little bit for that, like a few people or something like that, and then I'll try to leverage that. So as far as sales, I mean, if I just get released, honestly, I'll be happy. Like released and like a lot of people can play it and enjoy it, I'll be happy. But I'm not gonna lie, it would be lovely to, you know, find enough money out of it that I could just do this full time. But I have no idea. I have no idea how much money it could make. Multiplayer sandbox, like, no, not at all. So every level is a handcrafted challenge for a single player. So I will play this level that I'm on to kind of give you an idea. Okay, so this is your character you control. You've got up, down, left, right. You've got the flinging maneuvers. Flinging just moves you all the way in one direction until you come across an obstacle. This egg here is where you're born at, where you start the level. This is ice. You slide across it all in one step. This important thing about the game is that it is turn-based, meaning like everything moves after you do. And it's fully quantized, so like you're just inside of a square. There's never any state in between the movement between squares that matters as far as what happens in the game. So these blocks, I can use them to get to the level exit, have to manipulate them so they allow me a path to get to it. So for that, you just do things like bam, bam. It's linear. When you say linear state, you mean like each the travel through levels being linear, or do you mean something else? Not sure if I understand which thing is one-dimensional, because like we're in 3 dimensions right now. Well, okay, like maybe like the movement's orthogonal. You always kind of move in one line as you go. Yeah. So I like games that are not necessarily realistic or trying to be like the actual world, or make you think your person or you is in a real world. I like games where the player has to deal with a little bit of abstraction and manipulate symbols and kind of understand a new system or language to work with when they're inside of the game. And then after you understand this little system of movement and you can process all the information you see, a lot of things become kind of natural as manipulations inside of the world, and then it's kind of more fun. Like it's like I really understand very well, and so do the playtesters, how to do these things, and it's in some ways better. Yeah, maybe. But you know, I've done this before. I made other games that were sort of constrained in the same way, and you know, they have people that loved them, other people that hated them. That's fine. You want to make something that you yourself like and enjoy and expresses you. At least that's what I want to do. So it doesn't bother me if maybe the approach is going to put some people off. Not that I want to be immune to criticism, but it should be criticism from people who enjoy some of the same things that I do. If there's someone that is more oriented towards action games and survival or horror or something like that, then maybe, you know, it's not really the kind of person I'm trying to reach. Well, cool. Maybe you'll at some point get a chance to enjoy the game. So here I'm trying to arrange a specific word. Oh man, you just said like the game that I wish I liked, because it's so intriguing to look at it. They put a lot of effort into the world building and mythology of it. It's beautiful looking. And then I just kind of get stressed out playing any of those BioShock games. I actually have had more fun watching playthroughs of them. Also, I liked all the stuff with voiceover and combining audio inside of it. But yeah, I'm probably in the same boat as you. 10 minutes and I'm just kind of stressed out, and I don't want to keep playing. Too many things coming at me. I'd rather sort of walk around and look at things. Have you played The Witness? Ah, you're a Linux gamer. Yeah, I could make a build this for Linux. I don't necessarily have any issue against that. It's just sort of like a paying back the time kind of thing. So this little thing up here with the bridge, because I was able to spell the word down here, this bridge closes. I can walk over the top of it. Anyways, The Witness is, I guess, a kind of an uplifting example to me, because it is a really hard game as far as puzzles go. It doesn't go light on them at all, and yet it was a commercial success. What I've done in this game is I've said, let's try to make the initial challenge of to get past the level easier, kind of around the Portal 2 or Portal game series level. And then I add an extra thing in each level where there's a present you can go get optional, and there's usually a harder puzzle associated with that. Yeah, Jonathan Blow, got a lot of respect for that guy's work. Okay, let's move on to another bug. Yeah, I think he's gonna call it something besides Sokoban, I hope, but yeah, I thought it was kind of silly at first, his compiler, because I was thinking, like, really, you're gonna make a game and you're gonna make a compiler at the same time? Do you just want to maybe pick one? But I think he's onto something with that. What's it called, Jai? Because there is like some value in just trying hard to make the compiler not be slow or bloated, or and his builds are really super fast. It does reduce his development cycles, like, you know, where you make a change and you go switch over to the play mode. It happens really fast. I had a few points where I had to seriously worry about the amount of time that would take after I hit the play button with Unity. And also, the other point that resonates with me about Jai is he wants that game to be buildable 10 years from now, maybe with updates. Tying your future to a game engine that has all these updates that break things, like the Unity updates, there's about 1 chance in 4 each one of them will break something. It's probably higher than that, maybe 1 in 2. I don't know what natural programming is. Well, sounds cool. Let me, since my attention span's not fantastic now, I'm going to do some of these lighter bugs on the paradise level. Really? Okay. So, is there some laxness in the syntax? So, like, you could say different things different ways and it would accomplish the same thing? Cool. Are you using like an existing speech recognition? Are you like Google's or something like that, or are you trying to have the speech recognition be part of what you code as well? It's textual. Okay, so maybe there's some. Maybe there's some capability later on to like hook up, you know, that whatever the separate component is that detects speech, it outputs text, and the language would deal with that text stream. I think I understand. It does seem like there's a lot of possibilities for doing something new with that. Okay, some things to fix in here. Let's do an easy one first. Yeah. Where is it at? Is it? No, it's down here. Okay. So I've got a design rule that whenever there's squares that look like floor tiles, they should be reachable, but this area is specifically not reachable. So I need to change the texture there. I'm rethinking your last statement in a different way. In case what you meant was like if my questions were sort of related to infringement, or no, man, no. I don't believe in software patents, or and I wouldn't narc on you on something like that. I'm actually kind of annoyed, more than a little bit, by software patent trolls. Because I remember times when I had an idea and it wasn't even that big of an idea, and it was just kind of obvious, but maybe nobody was currently doing it. So I thought, I would like this thing to exist in the world. And then I find out that somebody's sitting on a patent for it. So technically I would have to wait or pay a licensing fee, and yeah, just not my thing. Hey, when I was a high school student, I thought, what if newspapers should be on computers, but these computers, they'll be like really, it's like Kindle, it's, a lot of the stuff is just really obvious. It's only certain companies get to them faster. and they just grab up all the territory with their R&D departments, and even the company I work for with my day job, they've got their little program saying, you know, whenever you get an idea that might be patentable, please let us know right away, and we'll file the paperwork and get it going if it's appropriate. And it's like, I have zero interest in that machinery. Okay, let's see. Let's remove floor decorator. Already did that. And let's change the texture. Change it to, oh, just brushed metal. Maybe shiny brushed metal. That looks fine. I'll stick with that. Okay. That's like a 97% true statement. So there's a little bit of third-party code in there. The assets are mine, except for the character models. I hired a contractor, Isak Adivas, to make those for me. I did a little bit of modeling, like here's the apple I made, you know, stuff like that. Pretty simple stuff. And then all this kind of thing is a lot of draftsmanship. You know, it's that kind of 3D manipulation, square type, like not real artful modeling, more just, you know, pulling around things to create a level layout. I got some in here too. Got some music, I've got some 2D art. Yeah. Some of it's procedurally generated, like these clouds, for example. Alright, maybe I can do something easy with the apple distortion. I'll see if I can. Let's see if I can do something easy with the apple. Apple. Let's see. Well, I don't need another project, that's the truth. But let's take a look at this thing. Well, I was seeing if I could find it. If you got a link and you feel like sharing, I'll pull it up. You should work on my project. Let's see. Okay. Speed, volume. You know, maybe all I gotta do is just turn the volume down on this. Okay, let's go 0.5, see what that's like. And let's just bring this down. That might be all I need to do. That'd be awesome if it was. Hey, you know, the way you speak reminds me of Lovecraft, and these statements like, "I'm still learning branches of mathematics." It sounds like very much like H.P. Lovecraft. I hope you don't take that the wrong way. It's an interesting way of speaking you have. I always loved the parts of... Oh, you don't know H.P. Lovecraft? Oh, dude. As a classic horror, but horror is the wrong word. It's just like, it's weird. Everyone focuses on the horror, but it's kind of like these odd ideas. Like there'll be an expedition out into Antarctica with a group of people in it, and they'll go underground, and there's like these vast cities underground. I guess a little bit like a fantasy writer that mixes in horror. And he talks about math too. Like there'll be somebody who lives in a room. He rents a room out, and he falls in love with the angles of the walls and starts writing things on the walls, and it opens up a dimension to somewhere else. And everybody always forgets, like when they redo his work in movies and TV shows, they always forget like all the crazy, wild, intellectual genius characters he had. Okay, now I gotta listen to this audio effect and make sure it's not distorting like it was. So I'm gonna turn it up to the max. Yeah, a little bit. It's crackling. It's crackling. Not as bad as before, but I want to see if I can get rid of the crackle. I'm trying to do it in kind of a cheap way where I don't have to write a ton of code. If I was trying to be ultra professional about this, I would make a new sample that was supposed to be the combined sound effect, but I've got like the same sample being repeated many times. So I'm pretty sure it's frenetic. That's the problem. Let's bring it down to 4. Let's bring this guy down to 6. I am an engineering manager for a team of 25 engineers. We make websites for farmers, or a website for farmers. Gives them advice on how to plant their crops and put fertilizer on it, stuff like that. How about you? Are you a student? Are you in the job thing? They got a lot of money, but man, they got a lot of costs too. It's like the lowest margin business ever. Maybe not ever, but they'll have to pay like all this money just to get like a basic setup with, you know, tractors and combines and harvesters and land, and they'll be throwing millions of dollars around, and then they'll get like 1.2 million back, you know. Huh. Maybe farmers make more money than they let on too. Like, they could just be griping all the time about how hard the business is, so other people stay out of it. Still a little crackle there. It feels like I improved it. I think also I might want to turn this light so it's not a shadow. I do like how it looks afterward, but it doesn't quite seem right. Or maybe I just lift it up higher. That's the red one. That might be better. Then the whole apple doesn't disappear like it was doing. Yeah, that you're right. That usually is true. Yeah. So yeah. The impression I get from listening to a bunch of farmers, I'm not deep in that world, but is that they actually have skills that are pretty advanced. They're like the world's best generalists, and as far as how well they're compensated for all their time, their knowledge of agronomy and accounting and repairs on machinery and real estate, and they know all this shit. But the impression I get is they picked a line of work that sounded good to them or was kind of in the family. It resonated with them. They really wanted to be a farmer. But economically, it tends not to hit the same ratio as other professions do for the amount of skill you need to have to do it versus how you're compensated. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen much about like automation taking over. The other thing is there's some things about farm automation that farmers they're very resistant to. So, for example, an obvious thing would be to have your tractor kind of turn around by itself and just do the whole thing without you in it. And there's tech for that, but farmers actually love riding around tractors. Like 99 out of 100 farmers love riding in a tractor. That's like, it sounds stupid, but I had two of them right there, and some pointy-headed engineer goes, wouldn't it be great to have self-driving tractors? And they go, no, are you kidding? That's I love doing that. and it doesn't take that much time. It's like a little celebration of all their other work in preparation. So they're somewhat resistant to that. Other things where they're under threat are, you know, there could be some kind of system set up, like the chicken industry, where you've got a limited number of distributors that start calling the shots as to how you're going to bring your harvest together and sell it. So I think that's where I would look for the threats, but I don't know. I'm not legit in that profession. I'm on the outside. Okay, 3, and then let's bring this down just a little bit. Well, I think before even the robotics, which is sort of a logical extreme of automation, you've got just automation. That's one thing I wish people would kind of... Oh, yeah. All right. I won't keep talking. Enjoy your smoke, buddy. Let's see if I can get this sound under control. I gotta do something about those hands. I lost the shader from the third-party asset. I think I should bring it back. They just look a little too like doll hands, or they're in an uncanny valley. DZ, glad you're here. Well, I will continue my discourse. Automation is here well before the robots, and automation messes up people's earning power. Alright, I fixed it. No crackles. Shadow looks better. So, in the 90s, when I had a job in an office full of paper things, I was just like a temp worker, and I was, I was having to file papers. That job doesn't exist. I mean, it's been automated. I'm not saying that's a good job to have around. I do like the idea that dumb jobs go away and better jobs replace them. I do like it when that happens, and it does happen to some extent. But the way that businesses change is they don't have a goal to make jobs for people. They have a goal to maximize their profits, shareholders, all that, you know. So there is no magic force that's just going to replace jobs that are lost to automation to something else. You can expect that there'll be some of that, but it's not just a magic fact that always, when one job goes away, you know, when the horse and buggy manufacturer goes away, there's always going to be a car manufacturer or some other kind of profession that needs the same basic set of skills from the displaced labor, or even slightly modified skills that are in the same range of capability. So I say before the robots get here, automation will fuck people over well before that. But it's fun to talk about robots, and I think probably otherworldly or scroll you already kind of understood that. Okay, let me see. What about this one? Yeah. So there are a few areas where I think I've seen some examples of creative output from machines that was pretty good. And anybody can come along and say, no, it's trash, it's terrible, it's not real stuff, it doesn't got the real juice. But I've heard some like classical style automated composed pieces that were pretty good. Yeah. And I mean, boy, we got blossoming topics here. Cool. So music, I think we're just mainly recombining stuff that we like into other patterns. Computers seem to be pretty good at that. Art, if you've seen these filters of photographic images that end up looking like stylized versions of them. There's one called Prism, I think does some really cool stuff. Like, it looks like something somebody might buy, you know, this piece of art, even if it's not like speaking at some profound level like maybe good art should, but it does look stylistically impressive. Let's see. Okay, so then Zombies, it's kind of a generational problem. Yeah, but if the job wouldn't have been there in the first place, okay. So think about driving. Think about all the Uber drivers and you know, the taxi drivers and the delivery people and the truckers, and yeah, honestly, it's just millions and millions. And it's also sort of like this kind of not entry level, that's not the right word, but it's an accessible kind of job that someone without a lot of training can do. For whatever reason, the people that are doing those jobs, they typically don't have the skills, education, economic circumstances that would allow them to get a better job. So if you pull out all those millions of jobs, then you could say, oh, there's going to be something else. But that's an act of faith, you know, to always say that there's going to be some replacement thing that's going to come along. If you get more and more tuned towards automation, all the different industries, and it becomes more of the default solution to come up with businesses that don't require that much human help, then there's going to be less jobs. That's just kind of how it goes. That's the trend. So that's why I'm actually supportive of not going against automation, but just putting some things in place that allow the population to cope and not be put into you know, some life or death fight because of these displacements that occur due to market forces beyond their control and these trends that just don't ever seem to stop. Taking academia jobs, yeah, it's possible. I mean, I think we're a ways off from that. You know, that whole general intelligence thing. Every time I hear like a proper expert talk about GI, they've got their doubts. Yeah, exactly. That is a good example. And then that's also another example of, like, it's not necessarily robots. I mean, you can look at those machines that have like arms and they sort of look like like one-to-one replacements for humans, but they're not. They're specialized machinery for certain tasks. So with AI, I don't know much about it, but like one of the things I hear is that there's a lot more fertile ground if you stop thinking in terms of kind of doing the same thing a human does when they think, but instead specializing the AI around, you know, other types of thinking, for lack of a better word. Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. Anyways, let me see if I can get one more easy bug, or or a moderately difficult bug. If M flings a few times after picking up apple. Okay. Paradise. I guess that's not being used. I'll just take it out. Let's see. So there's some point where she's flinging. Might be. Okay, so here's where she says these two things. Okay, I think this might be easy. Just do a silence all right here. Oh, that's what's... She's silencing the other thing from happening. Okay, so the state first fling. I think the silence all might do it though. Okay, what's the silence all in? Okay. First fling. Then I've got some code up here that's independent of... It's not independent of state. It's in the same state for first fling. But I don't want this to silence God. Okay, so I want this to be not said shame. Okay. That should do it. That should really do it. I'll try that in a second. The other thing I might do is figure out how to fix that missing shader thing. I think that's a few commits back. Check over my nightly backup. Yeah, I got one in there. I have to go back a little ways. Yeah, apparently that's controversial, but it's just something that's stuck with me from one language to another. Do I have this unplugged? Is that what's up? Oh yeah, I do have it unplugged. Okay, hold on a second. The human doesn't need a job, the human needs money. Yeah, we could go like kind of a minimum basic income type of a thing. Let's see. Trying to get a cartridge out of my RDX drive. And the normal stuff isn't working, so I guess it's time to do the little pin thing. That didn't work either. Good thing I got 3 of these drives. Oh, there we go. It came out. Cool. Okay, put it back in. Oh, yeah, the stupid thing. Okay. I get it. I get it. I need to rename this. Reformat it, basically. That's kind of a dumb way to go about this. So where... Maybe it's in here. was it called? Yeah, maybe this one. Shaders. Okay, yeah, this one. We should copy it. It's already here. Okay. So if that's what's going on, I think I gotta go back to the hand material. Change the shader. What was it called? RR hand. Yeah, right here. Okay. Now, how do I want the hand to look? Good options. Catching up with your chats. Books, coffee. You might need some kind of shelter, maybe health insurance, maybe internet. You might have sworn off dating. Then if you haven't, then it starts getting more complicated. Yeah, there's a line of thinking that says we've kind of fooled ourselves into believing that technology is progressing at a fast rate. And it's really other things that are progressing which don't have that much to do with technology. I gotta give these guys some credit for making such a advanced shader, or maybe not advanced, but like so many options for their hand. Of course, most of these sliders aren't actually affecting what I see, so I suppose I might need to add more textures, but I don't know. Let me take a look at these hands. The default might actually be pretty good, actually. Oh, that's just chilling. And that looks nothing like the scene. All right. Yeah, I gotta do something with the hands. It's not making me feel right. And now I'm forgetting how to get to the inspector. Window, general, inspector. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, there's some stuff here. Okay. That could be a good tip. That actually makes sense. See if I can do it in the scene. Does he look terrible in the scene too, hopefully? Yes, good. Okay, looking terrible. Good. But something's still off. Like it's just... It's not being affected by anything. Is it the shadow? I'm just kind of like, what? Just give me some default settings that kind of work and let me go from there. Let's put it back to standard. See what I can do without this shader. Oh, with specular, it's extra creepy. This is Unity. The hands used to look a certain way with a combination of shaders and stuff, and then one day they were pink and it said shader missing, and I deleted the shader, and then they went to looking like this, and now I'm just experimenting to find a better look. I really wanted something that didn't look quite as realistic. I know different ways to get to it. I'm looking for something kind of quick and something that was like what I had before. Worst case, I can take the time machine back into past Git commits. But I'm just playing with it. I don't mind playing with it a little bit. Let's see. Could also do some emission off of them. Emission is always fun. See, that starts to look better already. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, I could give him a little glow. Not that much, but let's try less than that. That's maybe not terrible. Well, you're looking at the first 10% of the game. There are a couple levels where there are some things that react to you. But later on there's a ton of them. And you do fight them. And you push each other around, and you die often, they die often. Alright, this is looking not bad, not bad. I might be able to make peace with that. Let me just play with it a little bit more. Bring it down just a tiny bit. Yeah, but then you see more details of the hands. Like the texture, I don't know if I like that as much. I'll go in between, split the difference. Alright, let me try that. Let's see if it's good or bad. And just for you, otherworldly, I'll throw in some guys to fight. I'll just throw some brawlers in there. Man, when you come back, I don't know if I'll be here. I'm getting close to the end of the stream. Alright, here's the guys you can fight. Okay, I think the hands I like. I like the hands. I'm good with the hands. don't remember that character. Is that the Jeff Goldblum character? That'd be awesome if it was, but it'll probably be somebody suckier than that. Okay, fixed. I do like these hands. I like them better than the ones I had before they went all pink. Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't sound bad. I was hoping for Jeff Goldblum, but, you know. Okay. I'll have to look that up later to remember who that was. I like the hands. Yay. Better than what I had. Fix the other bug that's been around for a while. Well, you know, I can't have all the deep stream of consciousness thoughts that Jeff Goldblum has. I would like to be that guy, but maybe I'm not quite there. You don't always get to be who you want to be. Sometimes you just gotta be what you are. Yeah, I'm getting pretty close to shutting down the shop here. I'm gonna go hang out with my wife, drink a little vodka, watch a little TV. Oh, Indian food sounds really good. Alright, Otherworldly, Boated, DZ, whoever else is lurking, thanks for joining. I appreciate your company. Hope to see you again. I'm gonna take off. Alright, scroll, have a good smoke, and a good weekend. Stopping the stream!